Hello students, welcome to your computer class. So in the previous class we have started our new chapter, that is Introduction to MS Excel, and we have also seen the different important parts of the MS Excel window. So before moving to the next topic, let us come again and see. So we have seen that MS Excel is a spreadsheet program. Spreadsheet basically means a software or a program where we can organize the data, we can keep them in a form of rows and columns, as well as we can do calculations on the data. Clear? Then this Excel sheet is organized in rows and column. Whatever the data we are saving, that will be in the form of rows and column. Then a spreadsheet and workbook concept we have gone through. So spreadsheet is a single sheet, as you can relate with that a notebook page is example of a spreadsheet where there is rows and column. Then a collection of different sheet will be called as workbook, and the number of spreadsheet in a workbook can be 255. Clear? By default when we open, there are 3 spreadsheets in a single workbook, but the maximum numbers can be 255. And after 2010 or from 2010 Excel 2, these are the different versions. So in Excel 2010 onwards, we have 16,384 columns and 10,48,576 rows. Okay, so if we come to this Excel window, here also you can see that by default means already there are 3 sheets at the bottom. It means these are the 3 spreadsheet in a workbook. Clear? And all of these are in the form of rows and column, and whatever the uh, intersection of these rows and column, this single entity is called as cell. Clear? Each of these single boxes where we will enter the data, this is called as cell. Then rows and column. So here all the columns have the headers as alphabets A, B, C, D, and the rows are, which are the horizontal one, which are denoted by 1, 2, 3. Clear? So if we are going to enter the data in any of the cell, then it will have some address. Address basically means that the location of that cell. So if suppose I am entering the data, so the address of this will be, first we write the column and after that we write the row. So here the address of this will be C and the column is 3. So C3 will be the address of this. The same also appears here in the name box or the address box, you can say. Okay, and the maximum number of rows and column, which we were talking about, that the total number of rows in a sheet is, rows are 10,48,576. Clear? As it is written 1, 2, 3. So when we go to the end of this spreadsheet, the last number will be 10,48,576, and the alphabets, that is the columns, so it is up to 16,384. Now coming to the book. So after that we have seen the important parts of the Excel window. How we can start? So simply by going to the start button, we can start from all programs, then Microsoft Office, then we will get Microsoft Excel, or directly we can search it from the search button of the Windows operating system. Then the next we have seen the different parts of the Excel window. In that we have seen a few of these, like title bar. So title bar is present at the top of the page. Clear? So this is the title bar where the name of the file or the workbook appears. Then the next one is file tab. So in the file tab we find the options like saving the file, opening a new file, if you want to print a page. So these all options are present in the file tab. Then quick access toolbar, which is present at the top left corner, where the redo button, undo button, so these frequently used options are available in the quick access toolbar. Then ribbon area, according to the tab which we are selecting, the related all the options are present in the ribbon area. So the different tabs which are present at the top, like home, insert, page layout, so according to that tab the related options are present in this area, which is called as ribbon. Next is formula bar. So formula bar, as we were talking about, that in this Excel sheet we can also do calculations. So here is the formula bar, which is denoted as fx here. So here whatever the formula or function which we want, we can write here. Then next is the window control button. So window control button is the minimize, maximize and close button. These buttons at the right top corner, this is called as window control buttons. Then worksheet and workbook we have talked about. So worksheet is a single sheet in which the data will be written or saved, and a collection of all the worksheet in a file will be called as a workbook. Then cell, so cell is the active area in which we will you can say in which we will enter the value. So these cells are formed by intersection of rows and column, and we have seen how to write the address of each of these cells. So first we denote the column, then after we write the row number. Then next is cell reference. So cell reference is what we are talking about, the address of any cell. So the address which we are writing, that is called as cell reference or address of that cell. Clear? So a cell is referred by its unique address or a cell reference, which is the coordinate of the intersecting rows and column. To identify a cell, specify the column letter first, followed by the row number. Clear? For example, here it is given that if cell reference is C6, it means the column is C and the row is 6. So the intersection of these two will be called as C6. If we come again to the Excel sheet, here we are talking about the cell reference. So cell reference basically means if the address of any of the cells, so that is denoted by first the column number. Suppose I am clicking here. Clear? So right now it is the column number is D and the row number is 4. Clear? So the address of this or the cell reference of this cell will be D4. Clear? We can write here also. So here this is the address of the cell. So first we write the column number, then the row number. So the intersection of this, the D and the fourth row, so this will be, let us mark this. So suppose D we are selecting, so D means the whole column, the whole column with the name D. So if we select the column D, it means all of these cells in this column. When we are talking about the fourth row, so fourth row means the row, this one. So if we make this, you can see that this one is the intersection area. Clear? So this is the address of that. D4 means the column fourth, the column D and the row fourth. Okay, I hope this is clear. So this way we can find the address of any of the cells, and the same is also appearing when we come to, when we select any of these cells, the same cell number, the cell address is denoted in the name box at the top corner. Then coming to the next, that is grid lines. So what are grid lines? So grid lines are the horizontal and vertical lines representing the rows and columns on a worksheet. Then grid lines allow us to see and identify each cell within a worksheet. So basically the different lines which you can see, these lines which are drawn, clear, all of the rows and the column lines, these all the lines which are representing here, these lines are called as grid lines. Okay, so by these lines we can identify the rows and column in any of the sheet, the worksheet. I hope this is clear. Now next is mouse pointer. So mouse pointer, when the mouse cursor, when we bring in the Excel window, then it changes to the plus sign. Blocks plus sign means a bigger plus sign with the you can say a bigger shape this way. Clear? So these lines which the cursor if changes like this, so then it is called as, let us make it once again clear. So this is called as block plus sign. So whenever it is located in a cell on the worksheet, the mouse pointer becomes the block plus sign. The mouse pointer turns into a block arrow wherever you move it outside the worksheet. Okay, so let us come again and see there also. So when we come to the Excel sheet, here you can see when our mouse cursor is in between these cells anywhere, this is the plus symbol which is bigger in size, that is the block plus symbol. Then when we move outside of this area, if we bring to the, you can say, to the tabs or the ribbon area, you can see now the mouse pointer changes into the cursor symbol. Clear? So this is called as mouse pointer. So mouse pointer changes according to the area of the window where we are placing it. Now next is scroll bars. So scroll bars, we already know that the bars which are present at the bottom or to the right of the page for scrolling the page up and down or left and right, these are the scroll bars. So here you can see at the bottom as well as at the right side. So this is the scroll bar using which you can move the page, and also we have the button. So using this we can move the page down. I hope this is clear. In the same way at the bottom also we have the bar as well as the buttons. So this way the page can be moved and scrolled from top to bottom or left to right. Now next is split box. So what is a split box? Let us read first. So to the right of the sheet tabs at the bottom of the screen is the tab split box. So you can drag the tab split box to increase or decrease the view of the sheet tabs. When you decrease the view of the sheet tabs, you increase the height of the horizontal scroll bar and vice versa. So let us see this also. Clear? So if we see this window also, here we will find. Clear? So this is the tab split box, you can see here. Using this we can change the, so if I come to this tab split box, here you can see by changing this you can increase the size of the scroll bars or whatever you can say. Clear? So using this we can change the scroll bar size or the area which is present in any of the spread in a single window. Same here also it is there on the scroll bar which is at the top. Clear? Then next is status bar. So status bar which is present at the bottom of the worksheet, which presents the progress of the different current task or whatever the operation function you are operating in the Excel sheet. So that is the status bar. So let us see this also. So here you can see at the bottom where it is written ready. So this one is the status bar, whatever the operation. Suppose I am selecting anywhere and we will write some function or whatever, so that will appear in the status bar. Okay, now come again to the book. Now we will see the first topic, that is changing active cell. So active cell, we already know that active cell is the cell which is having the dark border around it. You can see here that you can make any cell in your worksheet the active cell. Active cell has a dark border around it. You can enter data into the active cell. So we know that what is a cell? Cell is all the intersection of rows and columns which are present in the sheet, but the active cell is that in which the data will be entered. So right now you can see that D4 where we have written the data, that is having a thick border around that. If I click it anywhere else, now the E7 is the cell where we have the thick border. So this is the active cell. Whenever we are entering the data will be entered into the active cell only, means that is the selected cell. So uh, changing active cell directly means when we want to enter the data in any of the cell, so come to that particular. So suppose we want to enter the numbers in each of these cells, so I have written 1, and then if you are moving row wise, then you can press the tab button also. This will switch to the next, this will switch to the next cell in that row, or if you press the enter key, the column next column will be selected as a active cell. Clear? So keep on pressing enter or tab button. So this way also we can change the active cell, as well as directly we can click on that particular cell where you want to enter the data, and that will become the active cell. Active cell is identified by the thick border. Okay, now the same is explained here, that the active cell displays the dark border. Wherever you will click, then whatever the cell which you want to make as active cell, directly click on that cell, and that cell will become the active cell. Here let us read these also, update your knowledge. So Excel file is referred to as a workbook because there can be multiple sheet in one file. So this we have seen that whatever the Excel file which we are referring, that is called as a workbook, because in the workbook we have different sheets in a single workbook. Clear? The maximum number can be 255. That is why the Excel files are called as workbook. Next is data you enter into the Excel is stored in a file called as workbook, and Excel 2010 workbooks are stored using the .xlsx file extension. So whatever the file which we are saving in MS Excel 2010 onwards, they are saved with the extension .xlsx. Clear? So all of the files have some extensions. For example, in the Word we have seen then exe file, that is executable file. Clear? So these are the extension which is written after the dot. So whatever the file which will save, they will have the extension dot. So suppose right now this file which we are working, when we will save this file will be saved with dot xlsx extension. Okay, now next is the do you know. Let us read this. A formula is a set of symbols and values that perform some kind of calculation and produce a result. So we have seen that these Excel sheets have formula bar, the bar which is present with the name fx. So there we will enter some formulas. We will see when we'll move to the coming topics, then there we can enter some formulas for doing the calculation. Then all Excel formulas have the general structure and equal to sign followed by one or more operators. Clear? So suppose we are adding two numbers to cells, so there we will begin the formula with the equal to sign, and whatever the cell value, cell address will be there, you can use those with any of the operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division. So these mathematical operators can be written in the formula bar to perform any calculation. Okay, then next is entering data. Now we will see that how we can enter the data in any of the Excel sheet. So entering data is the first step in creating a worksheet. You can enter data in the form of numbers or text. Clear? So whatever the data which we are going to enter, this will either be any text, any name, any you can say item or object which you have purchased. Clear? According to the different operation, if it is business purpose, then the terms will be related to that. Then along with that we can enter some numbers. Clear? So these values can be entered in a Excel sheet. The simplest method is to click on a cell and begin typing. Once you press enter or click on a different cell, the data is entered into the cell. Okay, so this much is the process. Now here are the steps which we are talking about. So click on the cell where you want to enter the data, then type the data, then the data you type appears in the active cell and in the formula bar also. So when we are entering the value, the same text or the same number appears in the formula bar for that moment. So when we are entering these data, that in that particular cell we have to select that cell and make it active cell first, then we can directly enter the data, and by pressing the enter key we can move to the next one cell down, that is to the next row. Okay, so if we want to enter data in any of these Excel sheets, so suppose as the example which is given in the book also, so suppose we are entering the sales, so I have written the text sale and the same you can see the same is appearing in the formula bar also. Now press the enter key and we'll come to the next line. So whatever the items, whatever the table data information if you want, clear. Suppose we are saving the marks of the student, this can also be done. So the different names will be there, then the subject names we can write. So generally whenever we make some table in a Excel sheet, so this will have some the name of the columns, so this we can write from here, clear. So simply write that text in any of the cell where you want and then press the tab button to move in the same row, or if you have to move to the next row you can press the enter key, or you can also use your mouse pointer to press in any of the cell, clear. So these are the names of the subject we are entering. So suppose we want to write the numbers of the student in all of these subjects, so now we can write the different names of the student, clear. Okay, clear. So suppose this way we have 2-3 names, and now whatever the numbers which you want, this can be entered in these cells. So this way the data can be entered in different cells and it will form a structure of a table. Okay, in the same way the another student marks can be entered in the remaining cells. So whatever the amount of rows or columns we want to enter, we can continue doing these and the marks and the names can be entered. In the same way, if it is a any business form, any shopkeeper, the similar type of data can be entered. So here you have seen while we were entering in each of these cells, the same value was appearing in the formula bar also. Okay, and address of this is written to the left of this, here you can see in the name box. So right now this is the D5. So in the D5 the address is D5 and the value is 34. Okay, now come again to the book, the same steps are shown here. So here it is a sales record where the information of different persons who have purchased the different computer components, the same data is written here. So we can enter the data in the same way by making the cells as active. Next is saving a workbook. So when you have entered the data, if you want to save that file, so that can be saved by going to the file tab, and when you go to the file tab we will have the save and save as option. So either you can choose the save or the save as button. So if the file is being saved for the first time, you can press any of these like save or save as. But if there is already an existing file and if you want to save that file with a new name, then you can use the save as button. So when you click on this save or save as button, a new dialog box opens like this, and here we can write the name of the file and then we have the type of the file option also. Clear? Then when you save that file will be saved with that extension, that is .xslx. Let us see this how we can save this file. So suppose this was the data which we have entered. Now in each of these cells also let us write few of the values. Okay, then so here we have entered the values, and then we can save this. So for saving, go to the file tab and click on the save or save as button. So let us click on the save. So when we click on the save button, you can choose the whatever the file folder where you want to save. So at the top we have the different documents, uh, downloads, desktop. So wherever you want to save your file, that file will be saved. Then whatever the name of the file, so suppose this is the marks, so we can give any similar name to that. And here we have the save as type. So right now we are saving this in a Excel workbook, so let it be Excel workbook. Clear? Then after writing the name of the file, then the type is already there, we don't need to change that anything. Then when you click on the save button, that file will be saved there. So if I come to the desktop, okay, so let me close this. So here is the marks file which I have just created. Clear? So if we see the extension of this file, you can go to the properties, and then you can see the extension is .xlsx. Clear? So these are the file extensions. So as we were talking about that in Windows 2010 the files will be 2007 also. Previous version were .xls only. Clear? So this is the extension of that file. Clear? So this way we can save any of the file wherever we want to save. Okay, next is selecting cell. So now we have seen how to enter the data and how we can save any workbook. Then let us see what is selecting cell. So once you have to select cells in Excel to perform editing, calculating and formatting tasks. Clear? So whenever we enter the data in any of the cell, we can modify these cells, we can do calculations. Clear? Or we can format the different table which is present. So formatting means adding some you can say the color, changing the font size. Clear? So these options are called as formatting. The easiest way to select a cell or making it active is to use the mouse to move the block plus sign to the cell and then click on it. Clear? So whenever we want to select any of the cell, we already know that click on that particular cell and that cell will be appear with a dark border. So this means that that particular cell is a active cell. Then an alternative method of selecting a cell in a worksheet is using the arrow keys on the keyboard. So using the arrow keys of the keyboard also, we can go to that particular cell and move or select any of the cells. An arrow key selects the cell adjacent to the active cell in the direction of the arrow of the key. Clear? So as we move the arrow button, either we press up, down or left, right. So 4 arrow keys are there in the keyboard. The same keys can be used for moving in the similar direction in the Excel sheet also. Then a cell is selected when a dark border surrounds the cell and the active cell reference displays it in the name box. The same which we are talking about, that the dark border will surround that particular cell and the name of that box will appear in the, that is the address of that cell will appear in the name box. Clear? And the selected cell are highlighted. The selected group of the cells is called range. Now here we can see a new term, that is range. So when a single cell will be selected, so that will be an active cell, but when a group of cells are selected, that will be called as a range. Clear? So how to select a cell? So selecting a cell is directly click on that cell which you want to select, and the cell will appear with a dark border. So this means that that particular cell is selected. Now the next is selecting a row. So if you want to select a whole row, so for that what we can do, we will go to the left of this window where the row numbers are there. So whatever the row which we want to select, when you bring the mouse pointer here to the left side, the mouse pointer will change to this shape. Clear? The arrow button. So when you click on any of these, that particular row will be selected. In the same way, when you want to select any of the column, the shape will change to this symbol. Clear? So for a row, when you will select, bring the mouse cursor to the left, it will become like this. When you will move the mouse pointer at the top to the columns header, then it will, the shape will appear like this. Let us see these and see how we can select this. So if I come to the Excel sheet where we were entering the data, so here you can see these are the different rows and column. So suppose I have to select any of these, so the column numbers C. So when I bring the mouse pointer over here, you can see that the mouse pointer has changed to a down arrow button. When I click on this, you can see the whole column is selected. Clear? In the same way, any particular row if you want to select, suppose I want to select the row 6. So if I bring the mouse pointer over this column 6, row 6, the mouse pointer changes to this arrow button. Now click on this. When you click, the whole row is selected. So this way we can select any of the row, any of the column, as well as any of the single cell. Any of the single cell can be selected by clicking on that cell, and if you want to move to the next, you can use the arrow button also. Clear? So here in the same way we can use the arrow buttons to moving to any of the cell using the arrow keys of the keyboard. So today we have gone through the different ways to enter the data. Then we have seen how to save any of the file which is saved, what is the extension of MS Excel files, then the concept of active cell, range, and how to select a cell, row, or a column. Clear? Now in the coming class we will continue after this. Till then, revise all which we have discussed today. Thank you.